This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello, and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp Podcast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. I'm your host, Soy, and throughout the year, we'll be joining you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we'll gather here around the virtual campfire on the podcast. We'll have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, like wows and joke of the day. We're also going to have interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. And of course, I'll share some highs and lows here on the podcast. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you've joined us here on the Gold Arrow Camp Podcast, where we can hang out virtually until we get together again at camp next summer. This is podcast episode 1. I've got Baboon, and we're talking about grit. Thanks for joining us. Before we get to Baboon, I want to start your day off by trying to make it a little bit better. Some positive affirmations. Listen, you're going to school. Today's going to be a great day. I know you have things that maybe you're not looking forward to, but you know what? You do your best. You're going to approach them like you approach something you're scared of at camp. You're going to grab life by the horns and you're going to do it. All right? It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Okay? Every time you're faced with a situation today that makes you upset or scared or nervous, think back to camp. Think about what your counselors would say. They would help you through this. They know that you can do it, and I know that you can do it, and we know that you're going to have a great day. Go out there and get them. And now we come to the portion of the program where we read some wows. Wows are little thank yous or congratulations to people who have done something special. And here come the wows. We're pulling them out of the pile of wows. First, a wow from Glitter to Dragon. Wow for inventing something that might save 1 million lives. Pretty impressive. We're going to try and get Dragon on the podcast later this year to talk about it. Wow to Monkey for coming up with an awesome new chapstick flavor. You'll have to come to an event to get it. That's from Bean. Wow to everyone who came out to the Manhattan Beach 10K, either to run it or just to visit us at the booth. We loved seeing you. That's from me. And wow to Delta for starting a teacher certification program. Way to chase your dreams. That's from Button. And last but not least on the wow list, wow to Mimi for alerting people that there was a Gilmore Girls coffee shop takeover. That's from noted Gilmore Girls fan, Bean. If you want to get a wow on the podcast, simply email us wow@goldarrowcamp.com or tag us on social media, #GACWOW.
We have some poems for you. I like poems. We like to start off Poetry Corner with some well thought out haikus.
The Shaver Kaibo. The Shaver Kaibo. It has turned to the dark side. It is Kaibo Ren.
All right, and today's guest on the podcast, your favorite English waterfront director and mine, it's Baboon. Baboon, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, how are you, Soy?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. So, we got campers. They're at home. Maybe they're on their way to school. They're on their way home. We're in their earbuds right now. What words of wisdom do you have for campers in the real world today?
Okay, so I live by the philosophy of making every day your masterpiece. And so what this means is it's have every day and live every day at your best. Make the most of that, and don't be a someday kind of person. Be a today kind of person. Get all those things you want to do done today.
That's outstanding. So if you're listening to the podcast instead of doing your homework, put us on pause, go finish the homework, make it a masterpiece, come back. Baboon and I will still be here.
Exactly.
All right, so Baboon, you gave us a little bit of it there, but when you're in the real world, I know that you're at Whistler, Canada, working at the ski resort. What ideas from camp do you take with you to the real world?
So the biggest thing is I take the have fun, make friends, and grow really into my whole day-to-day life at Whistler Blackcomb in Canada. And I also train a lot of our lift operators as we train our staff at Gold Arrow Camp. So using really nice, approachable growth mindset language all the time. And I very rarely look at my cell phone or even have my cell phone on me, and like to communicate with people face to face.
Whoa, those are some solid core beliefs. Could you talk maybe a little bit more about the growth mindset? I'm not sure everybody at home knows what a growth mindset is.
Yeah, of course. So that's just about believing in your potential and in other people's potential. Never saying the words, I can't do this or I won't do that, instead of thinking of ways in which how you're going to do that, or what do I need to do myself to reach those goals? What do I need to train? What do I need to learn? Or who do I need to speak to?
Great. All right, so we've been relatively heavy so far. Talked about making every day a masterpiece. Talk about growth mindset. Let's get a little bit lighter here. At camp, what is your favorite repeat after me song?
Oh, it's got to be the moose.
Oh,
I like the moose.
do you like it when he gets juice in his hair?
Juice in his hair. That is my favorite.
I agree. I enjoy it when he gets juice.
Juicy moose.
You can't have a juicy moose. It's a bit of a natural disaster. Lunch and dinner, salad bar. What's your favorite item on the salad bar?
So a recent addition this year, which is actually I was so pumped about, is the grilled chicken.
Oh,
It's a great way to make a healthy salad full of protein.
oh.
So yeah,
It's great. Love the grilled chicken. I am right there with you. I agree. It was my favorite addition, I think. Although jicama, I enjoyed the jicama this year.
Oh.
That was new. It's like a turnip, only different.
it's quirky.
It is a little quirky. Okay, Baboon. This year we talked about growing grit a lot. I was wondering if you could share with us a grit story from outside of camp, something that happened to you away from camp that demonstrated you growing grit.
Okay, so there's a lot of grit stories I have. One of my favorites happened to me about 1 or 2 years ago when I used to work at one of the highest ski lifts in Whistler Blackcomb, and we actually closed the mountain because of extreme weather, adverse conditions. It was galing above 100 kilometers per hour and around minus 15, 20 Celsius. I was at the top of the mountain closed, everyone was down at the bottom, but I was expected to ski out, and it took me around an hour and a half or 2 hours to walk through about 2 or 3 feet of snow and snowboard down off the mountain to safety.
Yes.
It was pretty epic.
Well, I can imagine the wind blowing and you leaned against it with your snowboard. The question I think the skiers and snowboarders are asking themselves, was the snow any good?
It was actually sensational. When I could see, because it was a bit of a whiteout, so it's kind of a...
So not tremendously safe, but the skiing and snowboarding was fantastic on your way down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll take it. Last thing, we're going to close out the interview. A question I know campers ask you all the time. What is your real name? Well, I'm sorry. We're out of time for the interview. That's it. We'll have to catch Baboon's real name the next time we talk to him here on the podcast. In a world with far too much seriousness, far too much drama, we bring you something different. The joke of the cast. So 2 guys are on a frozen lake and they're ice fishing. And one guy is having a lot of success. He pulls in fish after fish after fish. And the other guy is having no success at all. He just can't catch a fish. And he leans over to the first guy who's catching all the fish. He says, "How do you catch all these fish?" And the guy goes, "He says, I'm sorry. I got the ear flaps on the hat." He puts the flaps and says, "I couldn't hear you. How do you catch so many fish?" That's the first guy says, "I'm sorry. I'm really having a hard time. How do you catch so many fish?" And the guy opens his mouth and he takes something out and he says, "Well, you have to keep the worms warm." And now, it's time for another GACspiration with Sunshine.
One of the things that we believe at GAC is that trying new things is really great, even if you fail over and over again. So today's GACspiration comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fail.
And with that, our time together on the podcast comes to an end. I want to thank Baboon for coming on the show this week. Also, thanks to Sunshine for reading that GACspiration, and to Sandwich for giving us one of my favorite haikus, Kaibo Ren. I want to thank you for choosing to spend some of your day with us. Really appreciate that. I hope you had as much fun listening as I had making this thing. If you want to get in contact with us, you could always email us wow@goldarrowcamp.com. Also, you could hashtag GACWow. We would read those wows here on the podcast. If you like the show, tell a friend, share the podcast. It's certainly not just for people who've been to Gold Arrow. It might be people who are interested, or maybe people who just need some laughs in their day. That's what we're here to do. And that's it. That's the show. I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.